This story was archived and was sent to me by a 12-year-old girl from a small town in coastal South Georgia, near the Florida line, who just lost their family due to mysterious circumstances. Here is their story. My parents have been gone for quite some time, and I always prayed for them to come back. I live alone, and I sat on the couch, holding my blanket, until I saw my front door open slightly. I thought it was Daddy and asked if it was. It froze mid-step, tilting its head as it just stared at me with what appears to be a rope in its hand. I don't know why, but it stared for a long moment, as if it was confused. I thought it was him, and I was happy that it came back. I was scared. I opened my arms and asked for a hug. I heard it sigh, then it slowly lowered its hand and allowed the rope it was holding to slide on the floor. It crouched down towards me and hugged me. I pressed my face into its chest. I commented on how warm it felt. It said nothing, just paused and stroked my back gently. That is when I realized something. Looking back, it looked nothing like my dad. The shadowed figure looked identical to Luigi, but pitch black. I teared up and I begged it to not leave me too. It lifted its hand towards me and I held it. It took me to my bedroom and tucked me in my blankets. It stood there staring at me and did some sign language that I understood, as I've been learning it thanks to my mommy. It asked me the following: "Do you need anything, like food or water?" I simply told it to stay. The shadow stood at the bedside and watched as I closed my eyes and went to sleep as it looked at me. I woke up afterwards the next morning with claw marks near my neck. I don't know why, but I noticed the shadow standing there, at the bedside like the night before that. I asked what happened. I never thought about it causing the mark, as it's been nice to me, but it pointed at the front door, doing sign languages about something sneaking into my room and attacking me. But it captured the cause and brought the thing outside. I trusted it, but something about it made me uneasy. But it understood my nervousness and told me that it understood my fear and that it won't do anything to me. It promised and even gave me the pinky as an extra measure. I calmed down. The shadow was resting its hands on its knees and knew that I was still uneasy, and again promised, and whenever my parents come back home it will leave, but until then it will stay, watch and care. I hugged the shadow, but this time tighter, as I felt it wrap its arms around me. I told it that I didn't want to be alone and asked for something to eat. It nodded once and got up as it entered the dark hallway, and there were sounds in the kitchen. I was drawing something with a crayon of me and the shadow. I viewed it as my daddy. I even wrote "me and daddy" on it with hearts. I don't know why I did this. For some reason, my brain decided to just accept the fact that this was my father now. It came into my room after I finished coloring the shadow's body. It was holding a tray with steaming bowl of soup, a small sandwich and a glass of water. Something about the food was odd, to be honest, as they prepared it impressively faster than my actual parents did. It told me to eat and sleep as it watched. I started to eat as I glanced occasionally at it sitting in the corner of the room with the rope next to it. I never asked about the rope. I was halfway through the soup when I heard a crazy echoing from downstairs. The window shattered as we both froze. I dropped my spoon and footsteps were audible. I whispered to the shadow that someone was in the house. It didn't say anything. It stood up, picking up the rope as it walked out of the room. I told it that it could stop the intruder. It asked if I trusted it, and I nodded, saying that it wouldn't hurt me. It is there to protect me. It nodded back and then descended into the dark hallway. I didn't see anything else afterwards, other than muffled voices and movements. The intruder asked who was there and fired once, panicking as the man shot again. Then I heard the flashlight drop onto the ground, and as he ran near my door, the shadow grabbed the man's jacket, wrapping a rope around his neck. The man was struggling, but all I heard were muffled thuds and choked gurgles. I was horrified and caught off guard, but was grateful to be alive, and I said thank you. I heard nothing but silence after the body went silent. I went to sleep soon after, once it was safe to, but not before finishing up my meal and placing the tray on the nightstand for the shadow. The next morning I saw another mark on my forearm, but my mind chalked it up to that paper I was drawing on earlier. I lightly tapped the edge of the paper on my forearm, scratching it. I ignored it, got up and went to the kitchen. The shadow was sitting there, preparing me some breakfast. The basic eggs and bacon. My ears perked up to a familiar car driving up to the garage, and I was told that my parents were home and to eat but not too fast. I shoveled the food in and swallowed quickly. The shadow cleaned up its mess until nothing was left in superhuman speed. I heard the car door slam and keys were rattling near the front door. The shadow handed me a cold, paper-thin slip and gave me one last hug. Its body was cool and empty. As if with unnatural force, the back door opened in sync with the front door. The shadow told me to sleep well as it headed outside, became some crimson fog and flew away. I opened the note out of curiosity. "You've been a good girl, Lucy. Thank you for trusting me. Leave luck to heaven." My parents came home and called my name, then saw me with the half-eaten meal and the note in my hand.